Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Today's question comes from a boss who has an employee, and the employee has some, we're going to say, serious issues. And the serious issues, we're going to call it ADHD for lack of a better term. The boss does not know if the person has clinically been diagnosed with that, but she's exhibiting those types of behaviors. So she's bouncing off the walls, she has super high energy, she starts projects for cleaning that she never finishes before she moves to the next project. So someone has to come in behind her and finish the cleaning projects that she started. She talks and chats incessantly, and it's all this high drama that comes from her lousy life. So every day when she shows up, she's crying, she's in tears, she's moody, and there's all this drama that she's dumping on the other coworkers and dumping on the customers. So the coworkers who are cleaning with her on her team are leaving and going to other parts of the house, but they can't leave her alone because they have to come back and clean up after her because she doesn't finish the projects she starts. Lots of problems. The girl is also a smoker, so she's like a chain smoker, so she's constantly taking breaks to go outside and smoke. So they're losing a lot of productivity and a lot of time. And the boss wants to help this girl because she feels sorry for her, wants to make sure she has a job. But she says, whoa, what am I supposed to do? Can I legally fire this girl, or do I have to hire her and keep her employed because she didn't technically do anything wrong? Yikes. That's a tough question. And the answer is going to come back to, how did you set up your business when you hired her? If you set up the business with a specific set of rules and regulations that were in writing, that were verbally explained to her, and she signed off on them, you have a lot more power than you think you do. If you didn't do any of those things, you have a whole lot less power than you think you do. So you can fix this scenario, but you need to start today. Today, because there's a problem. I forgot to mention that the boss has lost several customers because the customers are ticked off with this girl's antics. So she's losing business as a result of it. Okay, having said that, that needs to be documented. That needs to be documented, that needs to be put in writing. There needs to be a face-to-face with that employee, and she needs to sign off on that she understands that some of the customers have canceled because of her behavior. Along with that, you can create a new set of rules and regulations. And those rules and regulations can specify that you don't bring any drama to work with you. Yes, we all have personal problems. If you get to know any of the people that you work with or any of the homeowners whose houses you clean, you'll find a whole lot of heartache. Life is tough. And so yes, people have sadness and there are things that they're working through. But the truth is, as an employee, as a house cleaner, your coworkers and your clients and your boss are not your therapists, okay? If you are having that much drama and that much personal commotion in your life, you need to call in for a wellness day and you need to go to a professional therapist so that you can get the therapy that you need. And so as a boss, you may want to give her the day off and say, here's someone that I recommend that you go see professionally for all of these challenges. But starting today, it's no longer acceptable in my company. I cannot lose customers because you showed up and you dumped all of this stress and all of this chaos and all of these personal problems and drama on a customer. That customer works out of their house. They have conference calls. They have things that they need to be doing that earn the money to pay us for the cleaning. And you can't go in and expect this person to resolve all of your problems. That's inappropriate. And that needs to be in writing. That needs to be explained verbally to your employee, and that employee needs to sign off on that. Then you need to give them a copy that they signed, so they know and they remember that they signed it. They can't say, well, I never saw that. Then a copy of that needs to go in their personal file. Now, when you first hire a person, there's usually a window, 30 days, 90 days, where it's a probationary period. In our company, we call it a showcase period, where you get to showcase your talents and your skills. And at the end, we decide if you're a good fit for the company. If at the end of that probationary window, that person is not a good fit for the company, it's already spelled out in writing. They've got 90 days to prove themselves. If at the end of the 90 days, there's all this other weird stuff going on, you're completely in alignment if you decide to let them go. So I know that you're trying to help this person. It sounds like you have a really good heart. And I love the fact that you're trying to give her a second chance. But the problem is it's costing you business and it's costing you employees because the employees want to go somewhere else. They want to be reassigned. They don't want to work with her. And so that becomes a huge issue now because it's affecting your bottom line by losing customers. It's affecting your coworkers who don't want to work with her. And it doesn't sound like she's very effective if you have to come in behind her and clean up the work that she started but never finished. So, having said that, I hate the fact that you're in this situation, but I do suggest that you show some tough love because and a lot of parents fall into this trap. They'll tell their kid, if this happens, then here's the consequence. And then when the kid does this, just pushing the boundaries, they don't follow through on the consequence because they love their kids and they forgive them and they give them another chance. So that's completely normal. That's human behavior. But as a business owner, you cannot afford to do that because the employees will push and push and push and push. And every time you do not keep your word and follow through on a consequence, it not only weakens your integrity, but it weakens your power as a boss. And so in my company, I'm a taskmaster. I'm a real stickler for the details. If we had a conference and you agreed to this particular set of rules and regulations and you signed it, I expect you're going to follow through on those. And if you don't, these are the consequences that we both agreed to in advance. We both agreed to them. This is a business decision. It's not an emotional decision. It's a business decision. If you broke those rules, these are the consequences. Now, people may not like working for me, but they love working for my company. And the reason being is I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. You can count on me. If I give you my word, it's as good as gold. It matters because I gave you my word and I follow through on it. And so people know what they can expect. When they push those boundaries, bam, here's the consequence. And they're like, whoa, she was not kidding. She's not messing around. And they know exactly how far they can push. And it allows me to run a business with people that I've worked with for years. And I love the people that I work with. And the people that work with me, they may not love me, but they love working for my company because they know exactly what to expect. So if this is bringing your business down, it is time already, like yesterday, to make some new rules and to implement them and to follow through. So I'm going to cross my fingers this works out. I'm going to say a little prayer that it all goes smoothly. And I want you to keep me posted and let me know how it goes because I'm here rooting for you. Alrighty, and that's my tip for today. So until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.